Recording is on.
Okay, Aisha, if you feel you need to, that's up to you. All right, so moving forward, the reason I won't share the recording is because if in this program or in another program, there might be sisters who might keep their cameras on, so for whatever reason. And the moment we come to know that there is a recording, we we just take it easy. Yeah, so let's all be quite active here. As I said, please use the chat box. Yeah, I would like to tell that there is another session on 14th of the same month. The reason is there are people from different places who will not be able to they're at a different time zone and they won't be able to adjust with this time. So I have kept one more session on the weekend, inshallah. Okay. And some teachers requested for Urdu, because they have been in the Urdu medium and they teach Urdu and stuff like that. So uh, inshallah, a session can be organized in Urdu provided there are enough number of attendees, inshallah ta'ala. And there will be a session for alimas on how to teach effectively in a madrasa setting. Okay. I usually didn't get a lot of response from alimas. I feel the reason is they have a very traditional way of teaching, and inshallah we're trying our level best to break that and take the international practices to them. So it's a slow battle. Maybe you all can help us, inshallah, in reaching out to alimas, and we can help them, inshallah. They already are doing a great job. Just a few teaching strategies that might help them. And we will be, as I said, it's going to be intense because we're going to touch a lot of topics, and it's mainly uh, getting to know them. But then there will be detailed sessions on each topic later on, inshallah. Okay, and for example, there's a whole session on how rhymes help in building language, and how storytelling can be introduced in every subject, let it be science, social, math, anything, and how does it help in learning. And then there's a topic which is mainly for us, teach like the prophet. So when we are doing the sunnah of teaching, how can we bring the sunnah of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and in the teaching practices? So that's, and okay, the by the end of the program, inshallah ta'ala, because mashallah you all have invested your time and your money for this program. So I will be giving out a letter addressed to either your principal if you're working, or if you're not yet working, then it inshallah can be addressed to whomsoever, and inshallah you can use it in future. It basically will be acknowledging that you have spent your time and money to build yourself professionally. Okay. All right. So yeah, what do we see? We see a guy who's riding his bike, and we see a long winding road. Now, when we are on such long roads, and if you have been driving, then you can answer, where do we usually focus? Where do where do we try to focus and fix our gaze? Is it right at where the road is, under my tire, or just up in front of my tire, or right at the end till my eye can see? It's right till the end, isn't it? So that I have a clear view of what's in front of me, and I can drive better. So when we are moving, we don't just look at the most immediate point or the spot. We have a very long sight or a long view. Similarly, with our life, we inshallah we need to have a very long angle. which will clearly define the purpose of Alhamdulillah. I mean, I'm quite happy that all of us can really talk about the purpose and why should we do something that we do. Maybe somebody can, inshallah, put it in the chat box. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I have created insan, ins, and jinn only for one purpose. And what is the purpose? You can unmute or you can put it in the chat box to worship him. Yes, Nida. Jazakallah khair. Okay, so in yes, thank you so much, man. So in these 24 hours, if Allah says that, yes, Salma, thank you. If Allah says that I have created you only to worship me, then how do we justify these 24 hours? You being here, me being here, we going out for shopping, or we being in the kitchen, how do we justify that? So if all the actions align towards the purpose, then it falls under ibadah, isn't it? So if I am a teacher because I want to do something which pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and which will help me in my akhirah, then it falls under the definition of ibadah. So ibadah obviously doesn't mean sitting on the janimas and reading Quran. That's not the only definition. We all know that. So all these attendees who are here who have been working as teachers, maybe you have already decided your purpose. You are a teacher because you want to do something which will bring khair in the community and which will please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and which will act as your sadqa jariyah. So maybe your purpose is quite clear. And the moment our purpose is clear, our actions change altogether. Okay, without a purpose, the actions have a different shade, and after knowing why we are doing it, the quality of the action and the style of the action, they all change. So, inshallah, we will as we begin, inshallah, our program, we will remember one thing that we are here because we want to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We will teach because it pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when this is very clear, how we do it and what we do it. So why is clear, what and why inshallah ta'ala will fall in place. Yeah, inshallah ta'ala. So our vision inshallah ta'ala is to attain the highest level of Jannah inshallah ta'ala. All of us who are here and who are not here, inshallah ta'ala, all of us will be in Jannatul Firdaus. If that is the vision, then what should we as a Muslimah, what quality should we have? Or as a teacher, what quality should we have? So that's something that we, inshallah, we will try to remind ourselves again and again. Okay. So whenever we do whatever we do, it will be to the best of the best. As a teacher, will be the best. Sadly, you and I have heard many stories where the managements complain about Muslim teachers, especially because they have a lot of other priorities. If there is a wedding in any family member, then they their work quality declines and then their presence isn't there. So we have heard these stories which pinch us a lot. So at least while we here, let us try to be the best teachers because not because we do it for somebody, because as a Muslimah, we have to be the best, inshallah. Ta'ala. Okay? And that's my quality, inshallah. Ta'ala. And who's responsible for my vision? Is it my family member or is it my principal who I work for, or is it the parents who pay the fees and then I get a salary? Are they responsible? Because if my principal doesn't treat me well, should I go off track? I think if my vision is clear, my purpose is clear, then no matter what, I am responsible for my own self, isn't it? Inshallah. So this is something that I wanted to share and to have an understanding before we even begin of what. So why I hope inshallah ta'ala is clear for all of us. Okay. Um, all right. Coming to teaching. Uh, did anybody ever think that teaching will make me rich? No. I don't think teaching is a place where people make money. Yeah. So why do people come into teaching? Uh, some people come for very noble reasons, like one sister was mentioning. Uh, when Sana was talking about it, it gives you a sense of satisfaction that you have done something good for others. Yeah, that's one major reason. But then there are multiple reasons. Somebody might become a teacher because they don't have anything to do. They just finished their graduation and they're not married yet, and everybody's asking, "What are you doing? There's a school next door. Why don't you keep yourself busy? Just go and apply." So there you go, you become a teacher. Or you get married and your husband says, "No, you can't go to corporate companies and use your IT degree." No. So she says, "Can I at least teach?" He says, "Fine, go." So she teaches. Or she has a baby and the baby is going to school but is not very happy. So she says, "Okay, I'll accompany him." All right. Or they go because they're bored and they want some extra income. Some teachers become teachers because they think, oh, it's just 9 to 3 job and there are loads of holidays in summer. Yeah, have you heard of these reasons? Maybe yes. Okay. So people think that teaching is going to be a fine job, but I maybe I wouldn't compare because every job has its challenges, but very few workplaces deal with humans. Okay, they might be dealing with machinery, gadgets, and non-living things. I guess it's the teachers and the doctors. We we interact and we are with various different personalities. So it's not an easy task at all. I'm sure there are many people here who, before they became a teacher, they thought, "Oh, I can do this," and then after they became a teacher, they thought, "Why did I even think of it?" But nevertheless, if the purpose is clear and if we have chosen a path, there are various paths to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if you think that this is something that is doable, and again, the reason your husband might be allowing only for this, whatever the reason is, the purpose is to please Allah, then even in the Jurassic Park, we will inshallah survive. Yeah. So, right. So, coming to the boards of India, I have people from other countries as well in this session. So there are people from Africa, there are people from Saudi, from UAE, from India. So maybe because the majority of the attendees are from India, I won't go in detail about every board. So attendees of different countries don't feel excluded. This is just an example to understand how education system works in countries. So even in your country, it's mostly similar to this. Okay. Ooh, there are a lot of messages. Okay. Okay. Fine. I was just checking the message to make sure I haven't missed anything. Fine. So what are boards? So there is let's say a country or a place, and certain people have the responsibility to develop the place. So they have sectors. They have medical sector, then they have education sector, then they have you know development sector, whatever. So in India, the government has a national board which is called as CBSE. Then the different states that are in India, they have their own boards, which is called as state syllabus (SSC), and because it's such a diverse country, people like any country, even Africa. Okay, so there are embassies there of every country, and where do children of the employees of embassy they go to? So there are schools which are international schools. Okay, so now why did I mention this? Because as teachers, it's incumbent upon us to know which board does my school follow, and there's slight variation in the expectation of every board. I mean, this is not something to put down the teachers that I have worked with, but it's just a fact that many of the teachers, if you go to the schools, they wouldn't know. They might be teaching for a long time, but they wouldn't know which board the school follows, because they get a textbook, math textbook or social textbook, and then they try to finish the syllabus. Okay, so it's quite. I wouldn't use the word which is quite strong, but it's not nice not knowing what you follow. So there are multiple boards that every country follows, and the international boards. We will look at international because we have, alhamdulillah, quite a few people from various places. So there is IB, okay, board, and Cambridge board, and it's again in every continent. Okay, how do they differ, and why do I need to know about them? As I said, there's a slight variation. One board might focus too much on the numeracy skill that a child picks. Okay, and they might have so if I am designing the content that a child should learn, and if all of you are designing, there will be difference in our designing, isn't it? So I might put a lot of activities, and you might put a lot of experiments, and somebody might put a lot of reading. So that's the only difference. So there's not a lot, but then teachers need to know, how do I justify the requirements of the board that my school follows. Yeah. So the board has a curriculum. The board members design the curriculum, which tells that grade one child should learn this much, and so it goes on. Okay, so in grade one, this is what he needs to learn in literacy and numeracy and in the core subjects, and that's how it escalates. So it basically is a roadmap for a teacher. So this is what the teacher gets hold of, and now it's her job. So it starts from the national level, the state level, okay, and then it's institutional level. So we are right at the bottom. So some work has already been done above us, and then when we get, what do we get? We get the lesson plans, or we make the lesson plans. So there's a national curriculum which is already there, existing, created by somebody. Okay, and then when it comes to planning, inshallah, this is what we will look at now. Okay, so there's long term, medium term, and I'm coming to that in a minute. Are we all okay till here? So we have just touched the different boards and why different boards exist. It's for the ease of people who either keep moving from country to country or prefer one type of learning to the other. Yeah, if we are all okay, inshallah ta'ala. All right. So great. So coming now, we know what to teach. So we have covered why we teach and what we teach. Then we will look at how to teach, inshallah ta'ala. Okay. But before that, why don't we do this? It's an anagram. Okay. Anagram is just in simple words, it's called as jumbled words. So all these words, I mean, these are not jumbled. But using these letters, you can create another um word. So you can either chat and write it down, or you can unmute and tell me the answer. Okay, Aisha. Good. Lovely, Fozia. Good, Sakina. ठीक है, Salma. Right? Shoot the answers. Come on, quickly. Yes, Hina. People who cannot chat because they can't figure out where's the chat box can unmute themselves. Come on. I could, I mean, people have answered till four. Den? Where did den come from? No, you have to use all the letters that are there. Yes, Samina. Yes. I need
दोनों भी अंदर सोते
Arshia Begum, your mic. Did you want to say something?
तुम साथ अंदर कर दियो पहले आप
Six, six,
नहीं
come on.
बनाते बनोगी
No, 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 no. Shall I give out the answers? I got that. Time. Yeah, yeah, I got that. Shall I give out the answers? Untie. Very good. Arshia Ghani, thank you. Seventh. Who can give me? Even I found this tricky. Seventh. Yes, Zahra. Correct. All right, I'm giving out the answers now. All right. Yes, Zora. Okay, here are the answers. Nobody got this. Okay. All right, Jazakallah khair. Shall we move forward? Take. So we are now going to look at inshallah ta'ala stressed. Yeah, the last one is stressed. So we're going to look at sorry, how to teach. Now, I think the whole crux of the program is how do you manage yourself in the classroom? How do you handle the students? How do you make your life easy? How do you complete the syllabus? How do you teach effectively? How do you engage the students? How do you assess them differently? And how do you understand their different personalities? The whole thing lies on how. Okay? And I was at a session previously, and we were talking about when we do something consistently, okay, time and time again, we generally get a hang of it. So if it's making tea, or if it is riding a bike, or if it is calligraphy, if it is typing, so we get a hang of it after some time, don't we? Uh, and if it's a complex act, what can be a complex act? Okay, let's say baking. Okay, baking involves a lot of steps. Now if a baker goes wrong in one step, okay, so the next time he makes sure that he rectifies that, doesn't he? But when it comes to teaching, teachers spend years and years and years, and there are a few areas that they still miserably fail at. Now, why does it happen? So, one example could be discipline in the classroom. I can understand that every year the set of students keep changing, and they all come with different personalities and different challenges. But once we understand the trick, then the same trick should be applied every time with every lot of students, isn't it? With this slight tweak here and there. Uh, but then the biggest problem is some teachers who do not perform well, they just struggle every year, every day. So can we see how can we do things better so that inshallah ta'ala, we don't you know tire ourselves, and we don't um, feel so put off by this profession, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, so now when we know this is the curriculum, so what am I going to do now? So I'm going to break the whole curriculum into parts. So I need to know that, okay, this is my annual plan. In the whole year, this is what I need to cover. All right, like we do in Ramadan, when we have to finish the Quran, we look at how many pages there are and how much should I read on a daily basis, and then again after each salah. Okay, so there's a calculation, and it's divided properly. Similarly, the curriculum is divided into terms, and then after the term, the teacher again sits, and then she does it monthly or weekly to see how much can she achieve, knowing that the periods are limited, and then there's some unexpected happening every day. So so the first thing that the teacher has to do, inshallah ta'ala, is to look at the whole content and then judiciously divide it, knowing the time she has. Okay, so that's her first step. And that, I guess, if I'm a new teacher, or if I'm an underperforming teacher, I should just sit with whatever I have to finish, have a thorough look at it, get a complete idea. Okay, this is all I have to finish, and then how do I finish it? All right. I can't just start with chapter one and then keep moving. So the principles, well, we don't have principles in this meeting, but if you can pass the word, it would help the school and the teachers. The principal also needs to have an annual plan. She can see that in the month of June, this is what's going to happen with grade one, and in the month of so and so. So, what is each class doing? She needs to have that plan in front of her. All right. So when she walks in for inspections, she goes according to the plan, and if it is the month of December, she knows they should be teaching this chapter, unless there is a valid reason why they had to make changes. Right. So this is the school plan that the principal has in her office. Then the teacher creates her subject plan. So if I'm a science teacher, in the whole year, how will I divide? Now, it makes sense if I teach about shadows. If I'm a science teacher, if I teach about shadows in when the days are hot, and not when it's monsoon or winter. So even though the chapter shadow falls right at the end, I will bring it and put it in the month of June, because I know why I'm doing it. Okay, so this gives me a complete view of what I have to do, and if it is water cycle, I'll try to place it when monsoons are there. Yeah, so so first step is annual plan for the teacher to decide how much to teach in each term, and then comes the subject plan, inshallah ta'ala. And the subject plan can get real detailed, where you can jot down. So if it is July, if it is rain, then you can even scribble some activity that you want to do with children. So you might create rainbows in the water. So that is an activity that I would like to do. And I just thought of it, so let me put it down. So where there are puddles, I will ask children to drop a very teeny weeny drop of oil. And when they drop the oil, what appears? Something like a rainbow. So that's my activity. Okay. Uh, so a very neat lesson plan, or a very neat annual plan, is I think a very artificial plan. You need to have a lot of scribblings there, a lot of crossing. Something comes, something goes. There are a lot of changes happening. That's a lively plan. Okay, uh, and the class teacher should have an annual plan which shows her all the subjects. So even if I'm not teaching math, but I'm the class teacher, I need to know what my students, this is owning your own students. You can't say that, well, I don't teach math, but I'm the class teacher. So at least I need to know what the teachers are teaching. Why? So there's something called as interdisciplinary planning and teaching. So in my plan, if I know that the PE teacher is going to do an activity and the drama teacher is going to teach this and the art teacher is going to do this, when I have the whole plan, I will try to figure out if I can connect the the topics that are happening in different periods to one subject. So if they are doing something in science, can I connect it with art? Okay, so this is called interdisciplinary planning. For that, I need to know what's happening in every subject. Okay, so that's one reason. And also, as an invested class teacher, I need to know. Okay, all right. So what is this? So we have looked at the annual plan, the class plans. Now comes the lesson plan. Okay, but lesson plans need to be prepared smartly. Now, smartly gives a smart lesson plan. And what is most of you, mashallah, know what is a smart plan. Here in this context, we are doing a lesson plan, but in any other context, a plan has to be smart. And would somebody like to mention what is a smart plan so that I can give a star? Half of you know what is a smart plan. Come on. Yes, Samina, mashallah. Very good. Samina, you can't take all the stars. Arshia, okay. Not learning objectives. L stands for something. Well, there's no L here actually. No, no, there's no L. SMART. No matter where you're planning, you could be planning a bridge, you could be planning, no, no. You could be designing a quilt, or you could be thinking of starting your business. Yes, Anna. Yes. Yes, Omar, correct. Najmunisa, yes. And T, which is very important. Yeah, mashallah, you all get a star. Lovely. I'm happy. So it has to be specific, specific of what you're planning. All right. And then you need to be able to measure it. Measuring is easy at schools. There's an assessment to measure if they have achieved or not. Okay. Is it attainable? Because I can't teach about something very very abstract to little children. For them, it needs to be something that they can attain. It is according to their age. So that's something I'll have to keep in mind when I'm teaching or sorry, planning my lesson. Is it relevant to the children? So if I'm doing about water cycle, and if I'm doing that rainbow activity, is it relevant? Okay, so that's something. And if I want to integrate it with some other art topic, uh, is that relevant? And the last thing is it time bound? So my plan, I need to make sure that in 40 minutes time, I complete these objectives. So I cannot have an endless duration to, if it is not time bound, then things go for a toss because I don't know how long I'll go on and on with simple topic. Yeah. So all these things, and as I said, it this practice applies for anything that we do. So even if you are planning a wedding, is it specific to the wedding and then stuff like that? Okay. So this is quite a useful tool if you want to use in any place. So as teachers, we need to have smart lesson plan. All right. Now, here's a lesson plan that I prepared. Now, have a look at it and tell me, is it self explanatory? Does it look okay to you? Is it all good, or do you think there's something that can be added? All okay? Come on. Let's look at SMART. Is it specific?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Got-
So you all give me 10 out of 10 for this?
Hmm.
All right, fine. No answers from anybody? That means it's lovely. It's a brilliant lesson plan. Okay. Does it tell you how long I need to do every part of the lesson? It doesn't. So this isn't an acceptable lesson plan if anybody gives. Because if I take the lesson plan and enter the class, how long should I do the warm up activity for? How long should I give them for the student activity? Okay. So the last component of SMART, the T, isn't here. So it doesn't qualify as a smart lesson plan. Okay. So inshallah, when we make lesson plans, we need to make sure that we have all the five components. All right. Now, we won't spend too much of time looking at all the components, but there's one component that I would like to draw your attention to, which is warm up. Warm up is a very quick activity that you use either at the beginning of the class or in the middle, whenever you feel this tool needs to be used. Not it. There's no written rule that you need to start it at the beginning of the class. I'm doing a history class and I can see the children are all snoring. Okay, so I do a warm up activity. And warm up activities are maybe for half a minute, 1 minute. That's it. Like we did anagram. Okay, how long did it take? So I might just do 5 words to pique their interest, and then that's it, right? So this is one tool that a teacher should use consistently because it really helps, and keep bringing new things the children will look forward to, and you can use this strategy to manage the class, to bring discipline in the class, to get things that you want to be done. Yeah. Okay. Now this is something all the teachers across the globe, be it in Africa, Australia, or anywhere, we all follow this Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, this is the classification of how a child or anybody, how do we learn something, right? So first we remember things, and then we understand. We apply what our understanding is. We get to a stage where we now can analyze our understanding and our application. Why did we do this? Okay, so we analyze. And once we come at the analyzing stage, inshallah, then after that we come with solutions. So I think the scientists, whoever has a very scientific mindset, they analyze, they evaluate, and then they create something. So they come up with solutions. Now, as teachers, sadly, most of the teachers are stuck at the lowest level of making children remember things. It starts from pre primary, where we make them memorize rhymes, where we make them memorize numbers, and so on and on. And then it goes on to times table. And then they memorize the long answers, the short answers, the definitions. But then there's no understanding. As conscious teachers, as slightly more learned teachers, you need to take your students one level up each time they are learning something. Okay, remembering is a very it definitely is a useful skill. We use this strength for the whole hifz of Quran. Okay, but then do we just leave it at hifz? Then we try to understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, and then we apply it in our lives, isn't it? What do we create? We create, I mean, if we're talking about the Islamic sense, so we try to create solutions for the society. Okay, not something which is not already there in Islam, but if there are issues in Islam, using Quran, because now I have an understanding and I have applied it myself and I'm able to analyze the issues that are in the society, I'll be able to create solutions. So the same approach, inshallah ta'ala, if we use it for our students, where a child memorizes something, now make him understand. I'll give you a very quick example of a nursery rhyme. Okay, this is something that inshallah we will be doing in detail in our workshop, where we try to help teachers use rhymes as the medium of teaching them language. So imagine all the children have memorized Jack and Jill went up the hill. Okay. Now, as far as the memorization goes, it's done. What's next? The child cannot be memorizing and repeating that rhyme the whole year. Now, for his age, he will try to understand, and I will bring in a story to help him understand. So there was a boy called Jack, and he had a little sister called Jill, and they didn't have water at all where they used to live. So every day, Jack had to go with a pail of bucket, the bucket, to get water, and the water was up the hill. Okay, so when I convert this into a story, the child understands that there are characters in this rhyme. Okay, and then he comprehends the whole rhyme with the help of a story. How does he apply this? He applies the vocabulary that he's learning. Up the hill. Oh, tumble, tumble down. Okay. Ah, broke his crown. So this is where he applies that, and then we can ask them questions to analyze their understanding. That when Jack fell, why did Jill come tumbling? Then maybe he will say that Jack was taking was walking faster than Jill, and Jill, because she was quite young, she had tiny little steps. She was falling behind, and then she had to come tumbling because she was very worried about the brother. And then you can bring in emotions. Okay, so I won't go in detail, but then this is something that can be used right from the nursery age. This taxonomy, this classification of how one learns and builds on his learning. All right. Every class in every lesson plan, this taxonomy should be used, because when a grade 7 child is learning, what will he learn throughout his chapter? He can't be memorizing the answers. The whole chapter is designed in a manner that he gets some information which he didn't have before. He understands it, then he applies his understanding, and he reaches a stage where he can think of solutions, and that's how world problem solvers are born, and it is done through the teachers. Okay, so inshallah, let us not keep them at the lowest level of remembrance. Fine. Now we come to classroom management strategies. It's 5:30. We're almost at 1 hour. We'll take a break in a few minutes. Okay. This is where experienced teachers struggle, because it's not about how much knowledge you have, it's about how you give it to the students, isn't it? A doctorate can enter the classroom, but if he doesn't know how to give it to the students, what's the point of having all the knowledge? And now, how to give it is all about managing the class. How do you manage the time? How do you manage their misbehavior? How do you encourage them to participate? How do you make it more interesting for them? How can you suddenly, you know, take a different character and try to present something that they will really like to see and listen? So it's all about how you give what you have to give, right? Inshallah. But before that, tell me how many squares are there in this figure. Okay, Salma Khair, fine, thank you. Okay, thank you. 9. Majmusha, okay. Okay, Shadanti says 9, Arshagunit says 9, Merat says 10, Taskeen says 10, ठीक 10. 9 again, 10, 10, 10. People are changing their answers. I can see that. Who has put the hand up? Afsha Yasin, please unmute and you can speak. Sana says 1. Acha. I just revised it, okay? Okay. Zora has gone to 12. Okay. Any more answers? Salma Khair, 10 now. All right. I think I can give the answer. The 27 squares. Okay, so maybe you count. Yeah, how? All right, I'll try to show how. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me. Okay, I'm not able to get the screen thingy. Okay, forget it. I was trying to show how. Okay, but then the big square is 1, and the 4 squares, the small 4 squares, and then you also have to count. How do I show it now? was trying to share a screen where I could show it to you. Did anybody get it? Maybe this is something you can do with your children, with your students, and see. No, no, yeah. Now I think I can show you. All right, one big square here, two, three, four. Okay, the big one is five. I think you all got that. But did you count the center square? I think you did. I can't really show you very well. Okay, if you figure out the answer, I think that's your activity that you can do with your family or your students. The answer is 24, and you can inshallah tell me in the chat box how in the WhatsApp. Okay. Shall we take a little 2 minute break? Is that okay? You can unmute, you can talk, you can chat. I'll just go stretch my legs and I'll come back. All right? Okay, I've had my stretch. I'm back. Are we all here? All right. So let's continue. All right. What are the common issues when we as teachers are inside the classrooms? Would you like to share? Maybe you're not a teacher, but you have witnessed when you were a student. What were the issues that teachers usually face? Okay, yes, quite chatty students, yeah. And no matter how many times you ask them to be quiet, they start all over again, yeah. Distracted students, yes. All right, students who don't listen, lack of concentration, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Is it an easy task to keep slow learners? Yeah. Is it an easy task to engage all 30 students at the same time? It's, if we are sitting with just one person, let's imagine we are sitting with a friend, okay, or a family member or your child. So it's just one on one. So even with one person, when you are saying something, you will notice that the person has lost interest in what we're saying. Or when somebody's talking to us, we don't find it very interesting. So we just go into our own world, and either we are twiddling over the phone, or we are in our own thoughts. So even with just one person it happens. So imagine one teacher talking to around 30 students. That's quite a task. And how will she achieve it? She will achieve it only when she knows the tools that she has to use, the strategies that she has to bring in place. Yes, it takes dust. Yeah, very true. Very true. Uh, but what is happening? Teachers think that they can use a bigger voice than the child and ask them to maintain silence and let me finish the lesson. And because I am talking, she, I think the other students are listening. They may not be listening, they might be hearing because it's a sound that goes in the ear. But listening isn't happening. And when listening isn't happening, learning isn't happening. All right. So it's a vicious circle. So do we blame the students or shall I blame myself for not being able to make them listen? One teacher, I mean, in a previous session, there was a debate. The teacher said, well, I try my best, but then the children don't listen. So your best is not best enough, is not good enough, isn't it? So, for example, a surgeon, if he says that, well, I have tried to remove the tumor, but the tumor keeps returning, so he isn't doing something right. So either his medication isn't working, or his surgery skills are inappropriate, or his something in his medical skill or knowledge is missing. Okay, but obviously a lot of factor is out of our control. For example, the if Allah wills somebody to die of a tumor, the tumor will keep coming back no matter how good the doctor is. But on a general note, teachers do not learn the tricks of the trade. That's the problem. They think one rule can apply for all. They think that if they keep the class quiet, they can transfer the information, they can let the learning happen, which is not the case. So we will, inshallah, look at a few issues that happen. So, in my experience or observation, a few issues that I have seen is lack of discipline in the classroom. And the moment there is no discipline, the rules are not followed. There's chaos in the classroom. The teacher tries to say something and nobody pays attention. So the points that inshallah I will try to share might appear very you know very basic, and some of you might think that, well, this is common sense, isn't it? But I have seen that teachers enter the classroom without common sense. So there is a need for us to highlight those practices. And if you are the one who already follow it, then take the responsibility of sharing it with other teachers, inshallah. So we expect that when I teach, they all will be learning and will participate, but the reality is I'm just singing a lullaby, putting them to sleep. And the result is either I went out or I give up. A teacher who was older to me and was, I think, I believe she was more experienced than me. I can't remember. But then her classroom skills were hopeless. And I have seen adults crying, but then they cry for some very big reasons, like somebody in the family has passed away, or there's a huge argument in the house with the husband or something like that. But then this teacher used to just cry tears, because she just couldn't handle the class, and the stress level was unimaginable. She used to leave the classroom, come out, knock my door, and she used to just pour. Okay, it happens. I'm not saying how could she do it. It happens. I mean, at the end of the day, she is human and she couldn't take it. But That should happen in the first year. That can happen in the second year, but not in the third year. If it is happening in the consecutively in the third year, then you have not learned the tricks of the trade. So, what are the tricks of the trade? Yeah, okay. So maybe your teacher Sana Jamal wasn't competent enough to you know face you students. Uh, sh- a teacher who breaks down into tears, should we really sympathize, or should we say that she needs to buckle up and learn how to handle a class? She needs to. And all right, let me move forward, and then we will look at more things, inshallah. So a few tips that I would like to give, no matter what the issue is, inshallah, okay? You will have to set boundaries with your students right at the beginning. I can be a very gentle teacher, but I'm also a very firm teacher. I can smile at you, but if I glare at you, you know I'm glaring. And the same rules apply at for parenting as well. Yeah. Now, when I have noticed that this is a huge problem with mothers and with teachers. They are not consistent with routines. They are not consistent with rules. They are not consistent with the consequences. I'll give you an example. So, if I in the class, if I say that if you all finish your whatever activity I have set within the time limit that I set, we will get to play for 5 minutes. Okay, so this is some motivation that I'm throwing at them for them to finish the activity. Now, the two things that have happened, I have given them a time limit, and I have made a promise to them. The problem with teachers is they either let the children take more time, okay, and to finish the activity. So if I say 15 minutes, I should ring an alarm or ring a bell or something saying time up. Okay, close your books. Whatever you finished, that's it. And no playtime. So either I give them more time, or the promises that I make I forget. So if they have really achieved within that time limit, I use those 5 minutes to teach or to lecture them or to do something, and then I say that, well, we'll do it later. We'll do it tomorrow. The third mistake could be, even though the children did not finish it within time, and when I ring the bell, the students beg and plead, asking me to give them the playtime. And what do? I give in. I'm not a strong teacher. Only because 20 children come and plead me and they're begging pulling my elbows. I say, all right, fine, just 5 minutes, okay. The moment I do this, I send out a message that I am not consistent with my rules and you can play up. All right. So it could be a small, it could be a big. Maintain your promises and make sure whatever rule you have set, you execute it. Set class rules. These are, and I'm not saying because I'm saying it, because I have learned it from my mentors and from some superb practitioners. These are golden rules that will make your life a lot easier inside the classroom. If you still don't use it in the classroom, you are like the baker who never gets the cake right. So let it be grade 1 or grade 10, it doesn't matter. At the beginning of the year, you sit with the students and you say, see, this is what you are here for. You are here to learn, and I'm here only to help you. It is not my job to learn anything. It's your job, your time, your responsibility. Do you want me to help you learn? Obviously, they'll say yes. So if you want to learn, there need to be some rules. Now, I'm not making the rules because, again, it's not my responsibility to learn. I will help you. What did Sana write? Did we had a class? She wrote something. I'll look at it, Sana. It just popped up and it went. So we are going to set rules for this class that you will suggest and we all will agree. So if there is a communication like this, if the teacher doesn't act as the dictator and she leaves the responsibility on the students, it could be grade 1, it could be grade 10, as I said. Grade 1 children will say, we will not disturb you when you are trying to speak, or we will not ask for toilet again and again, or we will not push each other in the line, something like that, something so basic. And the grade 10 children will again say something that suits them. Then you make some children write those rules down. They all will sign. It's like a document, okay? And it goes up on the wall. You will abide by the rules, the children will abide by the rules. And they have the right to ask for something. So um, if, if they abide by the rules, they can have a golden period where they select what they want to do. They can play football or they can do whatever. It's a full period that they have earned. Okay, so pass the responsibility onto the students. Don't be a nagging teacher who's really, down their throats trying to get things done. All right, what did Sana say? We had a class activity on the first day with students. Yes. See, good practice. And even if, for example, in other places, the academic year has already started, it doesn't matter. Tomorrow is a new day. You just sit with the students and have a dialogue with them and start the rules. It works wonders. It also works at home, but moms don't do it. What can I say? All right. Reinforce good behavior. Whoa, did I miss something? Use proximity. Okay. Voice modulation works like just gold. Save your energy. Don't talk on high volume all the time. The moment you lower your voice, the children pay more attention. They want to know what you're saying. And do a bit of drama in the class. So I go to a student and I say, can you open your book and go to page 52? And the moment I lean forward and I'm saying something to him, what is the scene in the classroom? All the students lean forward to hear what I'm trying to say, isn't it? So you will have to do a little bit of drama to get things done. Okay, voice modulation and eye contact helps a lot. We do this at home as well. If somebody is misbehaving, we just give that glare, don't we? Uh, Gone are the days where we used to punish the bad behavior. If you want the whole class to behave well, then start acknowledging, not always rewarding, because reward is for something extraordinary. We don't want to, bring down the bar so low. Even at home, if the child has done something, he has set the table, he has brought bottles and glasses. You don't say, wow, mashallah, my bacha, he's so. No, he has done a chore that he is required to do because he's a part of the family. So you just say, well done, mashallah, or something like that, okay? Even in the classroom, when the students behave well, how we expect them to behave, you acknowledge it. You say, I'm quite happy with how Bilal is behaving. But then we don't start giving them rewards and stars, and because then they don't have anything high to expect for or to work for. All right, but stop punishing the bad behavior. How do we handle the bad behavior? You can have a one-on-one talk with the students who are really difficult, and ask them, we did set rules, didn't we? And do you think you're going by the rules? Why is it hard for you? Is there something that's bothering you at the back of your head, and that's the reason? Can I be of any help? Okay, and then you leave it there. You don't pry too much, and so at least start this dialogue where the student, when he comes to know that the teacher wants to have a word, it's not a lecture that she's going to give. She's genuinely interested in knowing why he's not performing well or behaving well. So have a dialogue with him, inshallah. Okay, and after some time, the students will open up or will be embarrassed at their own behavior. It will not just go on, provided you do it appropriately. So you don't have the you don't call the child just to insult him. You respect him, but you're also concerned about his behavior. That's it. Yeah. uh, New teachers, is there anything in the world that is liked by all human beings? I'm talking about thing, I'm not even talking about human. Is there a thing that all humans like? Not even chocolate is liked by all. So we are humans with a lot of flaws and weaknesses. How can anybody like us? How can all of them like us? So don't keep that as your target, that all the children should like me. I should be the favorite teacher. When it is Teacher's Day, they should bring roses only to me, or most of the roses should come to me. It doesn't happen. You cannot be the favorite teacher for all. You cannot be the favorite colleague. You cannot be the favorite employee. You are there because you have a purpose. And no matter they like or they dislike you, you will still work for your purpose. To save my energy, I will use visual cues. I'll show what those are in a minute. Uh, okay, I'll use timers. I will have those egg timers in my class. I'll buy and I'll keep them, or I have timers on my phone. And after a week, the children will get used to that buzzing sound. Yeah. So use these tools to make your life easy, inshallah. Uh, Let other colleagues observe you while you're teaching. This is a very matured working style. Okay, you allow the colleagues to sit in your class at the back, and then they give you feedback. So they can say that, you know what, you were not managing your time very well, or they can say that you always had a very high pitch, or I couldn't hear you at the back, or you were too negative a lot of times. Let them give you a feedback. Don't you want to grow as a teacher? And we can only grow when we observe others and let others observe us. Nobody is a perfect teacher. Even I'm not. The only perfect teacher we ever had was our Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Yeah. So we need to work towards it, and we need to be more mature in taking criticism. It's not even criticism, it's feedback that we have asked for. Okay. Try to document. If you can't document everything, at least something. What worked, what didn't work. I did an activity, and this really worked. This rule really worked. This strategy worked. Okay. Or anything that is working with you, try to document it. It's a good habit. If you can't, if you're not a person who scribbles, then I can't say much, but it's a good habit. It's a good practice that teachers should have. Okay. Any doubts, any questions so far? Or can I move forward? No? Okay. Right. All right. So this is a teacher who's sitting right at the back making notes, observing the other teacher, her colleague. These are the classroom rules that the students wrote themselves. Uh, it could be anything. Whatever is the problem in the class, that can turn into a rule, and let the students do it. Let them own the the discipline of the class. Okay. It's usually the other way. The teacher walks in and she says, I don't want to hear this, I don't want this, I don't want this. Have the students agreed to it? No. And that's the reason why there's chaos in the classroom, because the majority are on a different platform and you want them to come on your platform, and it's not going to happen. These are the cues that I guess primary teachers can use it more. And when it comes to secondary, you can use your gestures. Okay? So if somebody is doing well, I'll do this. If I'm not too pleased, I'll do this. So these are our agreed sign languages. Why do we do this? So that we save our energy, we communicate differently, and imagine if you have set an activity and a child wants to ask you something, then you have your own style of communication without disturbing the others. Okay. um, as teachers, don't talk too much. I mean, you might be thinking that I'm the one talking, but in a classroom, let the students talk, let the students ask, let the students share. Okay? Um, you should be the one who's the passive person there, who's absorbing and then guiding or supporting them whenever needed. But most of the time, ideas and understanding should come from them. And just imagine a class where you're just standing there with your arms crossed and students are speaking and you're just nodding your head because you enjoy listening to them. And they have now picked the skill of talking sense. And the credit goes to you because you help them think critically and share their views. Okay? So let that, inshallah, happen in the class. Okay. Set goals for students. Who will set the goals? Not you, the student. How will he set the goal? He knows. He knows that he's struggling in spellings. He knows that his handwriting is very messy. He knows that he cannot remember times table. Okay, so he knows those will become his goals, and he again will write down my goal is this. So this is he's owning up that learning, and he will work towards that goal. Okay, so you can spend the first 2 3 days helping the child find their goals. So imagine the school reopens next week. Okay, now you have entered into a new class. Should you start the class straight away? If it was me, I would do a baseline assessment. Baseline assessment is not the assessment that they did a month ago. I have taken charge now, and I need to know my students, where do they stand. So in reading, how good they are. So I'll do a baseline assessment and I'll make notes that Sadia can read three-letter word without difficulty. However, she struggles when it comes to four-letter or five-letter words. Sadia misses the punctuations. These are my observations. I'll write it down. And then I can share it with her. Sadia, this is what I noticed. Do you want these to become your goals? And inshallah, we can work on them. She might say yes. Okay. So once the Sadia has written down the goals, you prepare a table where she again makes it as a smart goal for her. She's very specific, and then she also has time set to achieve this, because it can't just go on for the whole year. So she will decide by what time is she going to achieve it. Okay, so it has to be very time bound. All right. The first 3 days can go in goal setting and preparing their specific goal plans. Now, this can be my whole class achievement. So I have everybody's name, and then they know what their goals are. I might use little cardboardy cars or rockets that will I will try to put in each row, and they can move up if they are achieving their goals. Now, this is a visual reminder for them that is up on the wall. Don't you think this will really help them to move at a faster pace instead of you calling them and telling them off and reminding them and writing negative notes to the parents and just telling them how incapable they are at achieving something? All this negative talk will, I mean, will not even be required because you have something that the children own, and now it's a visual reminder for them. It's like a race on ground, but it's just on the wall. Yeah. So these are all the tips that help in managing the class, in helping the children feel respected and feel valued and feel part of the whole exercise of learning and sharing. So it's time that we start believing that we are not the only person who has to do everything. Uh, Inshallah, it's the students who have to take the responsibility. Anything uh, that you want to ask or add? No? Okay. I know your cameras are off. I hope you all are there and it's just not me talking to myself. All right. Healthy disciplining. Inshallah, if we as teachers, if we can get a hang of this, we will not have any student who thinks they are less than anybody else. We all have some very unsavory moments, memories from our past, because our teachers didn't understand us, they didn't have patience, they tried to belittle us, they tried to insult us, they tried to compare us with others. So we have a lot of hidden scars that we don't talk. We just we just grow up and we think that's part of the growing. But that can be avoided, isn't it? All the children can have a very healthy childhood and they can have beautiful memories. It's possible. It's not an impossible task. Now, how do we do it? As I just mentioned, notice the good. Now, imagine there is a child who's in a very unkempt state, who is irregular, who's not very, I would say, who's not at his level of learning where he should be, and he doesn't communicate very well. So we all have seen students who sit in the corner, who do not have the eye contact, and who are not in the best state of hygiene. Okay, so there's a lot of things. uh, I believe that for all these things there could be just one reason, and the reason is he doesn't believe in himself. For him to come in a clean state, it doesn't require a lot, but he believes that he's not even wanted in the classroom, he's not somebody important in the class, the teacher doesn't think too much of him. Okay, so he always is in his shell. He may not be a smart math student, but he definitely has other skills which we do not know because we haven't spent time on him. So notice the good in such students. All we have to do is, I don't know, in the assembly, I can just go stand next to him and I say, "How are you doing today? Did you have your breakfast?" That's it. And I move. Okay. And the other day, maybe I'll just ask about something. or I will look at his lunchbox and I'll say, "Ooh, I think that looks yummy. Tell your mom she's a good cook." That's all. Okay, so just find reasons to notice the good, even in students who hardly exhibit anything good. And it's just like one, I guess, 1 centimeter of movement that he will show. He might start smiling at least. He might start having the eye contact. Okay, and once he believes that you genuinely are interested in him, he might open up, he might show interest in your teaching. We all need to be a lot tolerant. It's difficult, it's highly difficult, because we go with a very calm mindset and then there's chaos there. So the chaos is because we didn't do something that we had to do, which is setting the rules, right? So they all have their own place. Bring fun in your class. I'm a teacher who's a happy teacher. I'm not a grumpy teacher all the time. So I'll say, you know what? I have learned a new game. Who's going to play that with me? But let's finish the lesson, shall we? And then I'm going to reveal what the game. Inshallah, the students will abide, and then I can share with them a game. It could be a very silly game. It could be, what is it, arm wrestling. If they are not balighs boys, then I can say, who's going to have a arm wrestling with me, and the little chinny winny boys might come, and then okay. So that quality time with the teacher is something that they enjoy, and I'll give that to them. Okay, or I could just say, and anything. Okay, the endless ideas to bring fun in the class. And I sometimes, well, not sometimes, I miss being in the class a lot, because being with the children gives you some kind of an energy that you don't get with people of your age. You can be silly, you can be anything, you can just, you know um, let off your guard, and then you can enjoy. Plan brain breaks, energizers, or in other words, warm-ups that I just said. Okay, so we they were warm-ups or energizers in between. So they all have a reason, isn't it? So and uh, it doesn't take a lot of thinking. You can just give them anything. Celebrate small wins. Many schools, they have birthday celebrations, don't they? I don't know why birthdays are celebrated. There's so many reasons that we can celebrate. What's so great about birthday? I haven't understood. I mean, Allah has kept us alive for one more year. Is that something for us to celebrate or to be thankful to? So, what reasons can we celebrate for? Obviously, if the child has achieved something, he came first in the running race, and suddenly this class can have a little hurrah for him. Or you could bring, if you are short on money, which is okay, you can just bring one biscuit packet, and you can say everybody is going to get half a biscuit from me because Bilal did so well, he came first in running race. Initially they might say, half a biscuit, miss. But then it's not about half a biscuit, it's about all of us celebrating for Bilal. And the next time somebody does that, don't you think they will be looking forward for that half biscuit? Because it's not about the half biscuit, it's about the whole class celebrating for Bilal. Okay, now it's about the children's celebrations. What about if somebody's sister got married, and the girl comes with all henna, and then she was absent for 4 days? Okay, so I will say, we are going to celebrate for Amina's sister's wedding. But then we really missed you, Amina. You were away for 4 days. Try to come to school, even though you have such nice events at home. Okay, so I will create a bond with my students, and they will try to come to the school. Golden time, as I mentioned, if they have earned it, let them have a golden time. And the golden time is they decide to do anything that they want, as long as it's within the school guidelines or allowance. It's like giving Eid money and then saying, go to the shop and buy whatever you want to. Obviously, the children will not buy haram. So there are certain restrictions, but then they also have the freedom. And it's a very exciting time for them. Golden time should be like that. Okay? But they need to earn it, maintain promises, and they will respect you for that. So they will talk behind you with a lot of respect, and they won't let anybody say anything negative about you because you are a person of value. And while I'm saying this, all this is possible. I haven't even touched about the workload. I'm just talking about how to connect with your students. Workload is something which nobody can help you with. Okay, but this, inshallah, you should be able to do. Who's going to quickly give me the answer? Science teachers? Okay, this is proof that there's nobody listening to me. Atom. Acha. Cell. Arshia Munir. Cell. Cell. अच्छी बात. The right answer is cell. I'm not a science teacher, so I could have got it wrong. Okay. Which bird flies backward? Any nature loving person? Quick, rapid fire round. Tick 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 tick. Not even a single answer. I'm giving the answer. Hina, you got it right. Hummingbird. No, sparrow doesn't. Hummingbird flies backwards. Lovely. Good, good, good. So it shows that 3, 4 teachers are present. Huh? Okay. Anything that you want to ask or nothing? Fine. So let's move forward. We're coming to healthy teacher. This is I'm very particular about this. All the teachers, you need to look after yourself. Higher grade students. Okay. Uh, I think yeah. One golden rule with higher grade students is do not insult them at all. At this age, uh, they have a lot of self-respect. There's a lot of chemical imbalance that is happening inside them because of the hormones going up and down. So they are in the middle of being a man and a boy. So they are in a confused state, and they get very touchy with a lot of things. So if we talk about their pimple, if they talk about their little beard growth that is happening, or anything, okay. And to build a rapport with them, you start taking suggestions from them. You respect them for little things, okay. And then you say, I really miss Abdullah today. He used to make me laugh. I know sometimes a very cheeky student, but then he definitely used to make me laugh. I miss him. So the moment you build a bond with teenagers and you don't insult them, I cannot promise about their academic levels, because that's, again, I mean, I'm a hopeless math student. So even if I get the most wonderful teacher, I don't know how I might well, actually, I did well because I found a good teacher. When I had a very bad math teacher, I was flunking. And then Alhamdulillah, I got a very, very good math teacher and I did well. Because that teacher didn't really bother about my weaknesses. Weakness as a human, weakness as why is somebody calling me so many times? So the teacher didn't have to do, I mean, anything about me as a human. The teacher wasn't bothered. The teacher had to next time, can I use app? Somebody from the group is messaging me. Give me a second. um, Sorry, it is from our attendee. Can I use app? Yes. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's one rule that I have seen, and then you will not have angry students who will try to puncture your car tire or who will try to tear your scooty seat. You will have students who will try to protect you. You will have students who will try to make things easy for you, who will become your little assistants. Is you just treat them respectfully, even if they're absent, if they are not done their homework. You need to build a lot of tolerance, and not have an outburst and not scream at them, not make fun of them, not ridicule them. And things, inshallah, will fall in place. Ask Sana Jamal. Your Sana Jamal is a recent graduate. Why do you think, Sana, your high school students used to tease the teacher? Because she used to get irritated very easily. Okay. And what if she had shown respect and a lot of tolerance? You would have automatically respected her for her demeanor. So the academics will come later. It's the bond that we create first. And once there's a bond, the transfer of information and the knowledge will automatically happen, inshallah. They will request you for, we would be cracking jokes all the time. Okay, so if there are a bunch of students who are high school students who like to, uh, and she could never be strict. Okay, so if she's fair and firm and not strict, okay, I don't want a matron walking into the classroom, but let's say that a bunch of girls are having a giggle. I walk in and I say, something very funny happening here. Okay, can we now start the session? Okay, obviously there will be in between things that will break my flow, but that's where my when my tolerance comes. Okay, all right. Coming back to your health, how many times teachers miss their breakfast? How many times teachers do not drink enough water? They don't sit well. They don't go to the toilet quite often. They don't bring a proper lunch. They don't have healthy snack with them. Yeah, I mean, I can't count the number of times that teachers miss their breakfast, and I feel sorry for them. I know they're trying to do the best. They're trying to make breakfast for the whole family, packing their boxes, being at school on time. At the end, they do not have anything to eat. This is something that I would request the school heads to look into. Be considerate. Try to be there for the teachers. But you, as teachers, you need to take responsibility of your own health. It takes a toll. So don't let your body be abused. And who's abusing it? You're abusing it. Your mental health and your physical health both are important. For your mental health, don't we can work on ourselves. For example, I'll talk about fajr. uh, there were times when we couldn't get up for fajr. Now, how do we get up for fajr? Because we worked on ourselves, isn't it? So there are other areas in our personality that we can work. If we get angry very quickly, that's something that we can work on. If we are very we get offended very easily. So try to keep your mental health good and look after your physical health, please. Okay, if you are all empty mentally and physically and emotionally, you can't help your students, you can't listen to them, you can't bring them up. If you have a routine, inshallah it will help, but eating, please do so. We might see a teacher who is overweight but not necessarily healthy. All right, but it's not because she eats, it's because she has just picked bad habits. You should eat well, please. uh, Anything that makes you happy. Is it charcoal drawing? Is it I don't know, what is it, pista shell craft? Anything, just do it, please. Okay. And If anybody is abusing you, I mean, they're trying to load you with work, or your relatives just walk in without announcement, and you have loads of corrections to do or something, politely say, "This is my issue." Okay. Should you grow as teachers? You shouldn't grow old as teachers, but you should grow as teachers. Please set professional goal. If I do not know this, one simple example is AI. If you do not know AI, I should learn AI. It's my professional growth. Okay. Cribbing about many things all the time. The head is this way, and the management is this. This is this. There are teachers who constantly crib and complain, and they bring toxicity, and it's not good for themselves. So try not to make a mountain of a molehill. Um, don't please everyone. You are not there to please every student, everybody, and learn to say no, please. Okay. Uh, Hobbies, anything that makes you happy. If not weekly, one fortnight, go to the park, go for a dinner. Don't end your life because you're a teacher. Many teachers do that, and that's the reason I'm saying it. Okay. Effective transition is very important. If you had a very tough class in your fourth period, you cannot take that to the fifth period. So the transition from one class to the another needs to be healthy. Why should the other students suffer? Because you had a very tough time, or maybe you were in a meeting with the principal and you were not very, comfortable with the meeting. You can't take it in the classroom. And delegate responsibilities at home. Your children should do the chores. You are not a superwoman. You can't do everything. You can't keep the house clean, cook, do the school job, look after yourself. You will have to delegate. And please delegate work to students. If you have to make a star chart, if you have to do anything which is non academic, the students should do it. Okay? Inshallah. Can you please carry extra snack? It could be just roasted peanuts, it could be fruit, it could be something, but you need to have something extra that you can nibble on. Water, please drink. A lot of teachers have kidney problem because they don't drink enough and they avoid going to the toilets. This cannot work in the long run. Label everything that belongs to you. Every pen, every bottle. Why? It it just minimizes your headache. It comes back to you because it's there. I have done that to every stationery, everything. And people said, "Oh, you really you're very materialistic." It's not about being materialistic. Even on the eraser, I write my initials, because if it has gone to somebody, it will come back to me. Okay? So I do that. Healthy relation with parent, with teachers, with management, with students. How does it happen? When you are sincere, when you sincerely want the good of the child, when you are not having a malicious you know attitude. We don't talk ill about the parents, and we don't taunt the children about their parents. We don't sit in the staff room and gossip about students. All these add up. And one very practical solution to having a good relation with parents is, you write a good note in the diary. So in the diary, it could be as simple as, mashallah, you really make sure that your child comes in clean clothes, smiley face. That's it. To another teacher, sorry, another parent, you will says, maybe the child performs hopelessly in his academics, but there are other things that the parent is taking care of. Make a note. And when you do these positive notes in the diary, a bond builds between you and the parent, which helps because then you and the parent are on one side. It's usually a tug of war, isn't it? In schools, we have seen that the parent blames the teacher blames the parent, and the child is happy. So you and the parent, you need to come on one page, and that will happen when you invest your time and you let the parent trust you. G, Aisha, want to say something? Can you guide for lesson plans? I said that all these are just introductory points. For me to do a lesson plan session, we will have to use a complete session because there are a lot of components in a lesson plan. Okay, Shukran. Where was I? All right, I was with the parent. Yeah. So, and don't let the PTM be the only time you get to speak to the parent. Diary is a good means of communication. And don't always wait to write a negative comment, write a happy comment. And believe me, it does wonders. And I've done it, so I know. Okay, they don't allow the child to come and tell them stories because usually the children go and just give their version of the incident. So if the parent is on your side, the parent will not accept it. Yeah, inshallah ta'ala. Build a support group, join groups where teachers are, share your issues, share your learning. Inshallah ta'ala, when you speak to the parent, be very specific and be professional. We tend to get into things which are not very professional, so that will leave a distaste. Okay, and please document any meeting which didn't go really well. If there was if there was a parent who was abusing you verbally or was accusing you of something, quietly make notes of it. Imagine when you and I are sitting across the table and you are hurling accusations, and all I do is I say and I make a note of it. What will happen to you? You will you will be startled by this kind of a response, and you know it's being documented, right? So try to be professional, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, we have, mashallah, reached the end of the session. It's 6:30 here in India. What about you people? What's the time there, and what do you want to ask about AI? Uh, ChatGPT is not the only AI tool to be used. And again, don't completely blindly rely on ChatGPT. I'll give you a few instances. I was giving some prompt to ChatGPT saying, I'm creating a lesson plan, science lesson plan for grade 5 students, and it was about materials, different materials. Uh, so ChatGPT gave me a lesson plan which mentioned as activity, ask the students to drop the feather, and the other student will drop a small iron object. So it could be anything, a nail or something. Okay. Uh, the the feather will hit the ground first. That was ChatGPT saying. That's ridiculous because metal will reach the ground first. So these are such gross errors that ChatGPT can do. And if I blindly take things from ChatGPT, I'll be in trouble. I was doing a training session for some teachers, and there was an activity. They had to describe an object in 3 sentences. So these are adults, okay, and it was a teacher's training. So they had access to phone. So the object that was written to them, that was given to them on the slip, was samosa, and they asked ChatGPT describe samosa in 3 lines. So it gave a description which was very, the objective of the activity was you need to describe it, but it should be a challenge for us to decode. It cannot be very obvious. But then they used ChatGPT and they made it very, very, very obvious. They said it's a triangular Indian snack that is deep fried and eaten in evenings. Okay, so now I have, inshallah,